How's it going, everybody? Jared Lutz here with another Diablo 4 video. The July 28th Campfire Chat developer livestream just happened. I've got all the details about what was talked about, including a big list of patch information that was shared. We're talking tons of buffs to Barbarian and Sorcerers, as well as some changes to the other classes too. You got bosses and reward balancing, monster density adjustments, and a lot more. So let's run through all the news and everything you need to know info-wise that came from this live stream. First off, we got tons of patch notes for the next big patch, patch 1.1.1, which will be releasing on August 8th, and we'll get full patch notes on August 2nd. But for now, they shared the big changes coming to each class with this patch, starting with Sorcerer. Starting with skills, the flickering Firebolt, they're changing it so Firebolt generates 2 mana when hitting an enemy. Enhanced Fireball is getting changed so casting Fireball increases its radius by 50%. And Destructive Fireball is getting changed so Fireball's critical strike damage is increased by 20%, and this bonus is increased to 30% if a Fireball hits 3 or more enemies. Greater Chain Lightning is getting changed so each time Chain Lightning bounces, its next hit deals 5% increased damage, and Destructive Chain Lightning is getting changed, so Crackling Energy is increased from 25% to 30%. For passives, Veer's Mastery damage bonus is increased from 10 to 15%. Asu's Furiosity, additional functionality, both bonuses are also granted for 3 seconds when hitting a boss with a critical strike. And Combustion is getting changed, so your burning effects deal 20% increased damage, plus an additional 2% increased damage per unique source of burning you have applied to the enemy. Now let's talk Paragon. Searing Heat legendary node is getting changed so casting Fireball or Meteor increases your critical strike chance by 5% for 5 seconds up to 15%. The Ceaseless Conduit legendary node increased Crackling Energy's damage from 2% to 3% per 20 intelligence the player has. The Reinforced Rare Glyph is getting its damage reduction increased from 10 to 15%. Same goes for the Territorial Rare Glyph. The Warding Rare Glyph is getting its damage reduction increased from 13 to 25%. And the Keeper of the Flames Rare Node is getting its damage reduction increased from 4 to 5%, and its bonus damage reduction increased from 4 to 5% as well. And then right here you have a bunch more nodes that are all getting their damage reduction increased, as well as maximum life bonuses. On the topic of Sorcerer legendaries, the Serpentine aspect is getting changed, so you may have 1 additional Hydra active, and Hydra's duration is increased by 14 to 24%. This now also affects Hydra's enchantment effect. The aspect of Conflagration, bonus burning damage increased from 20 to 30% to 20 to 40%. The aspect of Engulfing Flames, bonus burning damage increased from 30 to 40% to 60 to 80%. The aspect of 3 curses is getting a change, so it now will increase the critical strike damage of Meteor and Fireball by 20 to 40%, double this bonus against healthy enemies. The Flamewalker's aspect is getting its bonus movement speed duration increased from 4 to 6 seconds, and the Gravitational aspect is getting changed so Ball Lightning orbits around you and deals 15 to 25% increased damage. The Recharging aspect is getting changed so each time Chain Lightning bounces, you gain 2 to 3 mana. Aspect of Unbroken Tether, bonus Chain Lightning bounces increase from 2 to 4. Charged aspect, bonus movement speed duration increased from 4 to 8 seconds. Aspect of the Bounding Conduit, bonus movement speed increased from 20 to 25% to 25 to 30%. They're actually adding a new legendary, the Mage Lord's aspect, where the Veer's Mastery key passive's damage reduction is increased by 20 to 30% for each close enemy up to 60 to 90%. And the aspect of Frozen Orbit damage increased from 20 to 30% to 30 to 40%. Even more legendary changes, the Storm Swell aspect is getting its bonus damage increase from 11 to 20% to 21 to 30%. Snow Veiled aspect unstoppable duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds to 3 to 5 seconds, and an additional functionality, it'll also grant 10% bonus armor for 3 to 5 seconds. The Incendiary aspect is getting changed, so now on lucky hit, damage from your Pyromancy skills has up to a 12 to 17% chance to restore 10 mana. The Snow Guards aspect is also getting a change, so while within your own blizzard and for 2 seconds after leaving it, you take 20 to 25% less damage. And the aspect of concentration, mana regeneration increased from 20 to 30% to 40 to 50%, and the duration requirement to gain its benefit reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. Then onto uniques. The Gloves of the Illuminator is getting changed. The damage penalty reduced from 65 to 55% to 45 to 35%. The damage to stunned affix is going to be replaced with Lucky Hit, Chance to Restore Resource. They also reduced the distance offset per bounce range from 3 to 2.5, and this should make it easier to hit close enemies with Fireball. Moving on to Barbarian skills. Bash, Fury gained, is going to be increased from 11 to 13. Flay's Fury gain is increased from 10 to 13. Frenzy, Enhanced Frenzy, Fury gained increased from 2 to 3. Lunging Strike Fury gained increased from 10 to 12. Double Swing damage increased from 40 to 50%. Rupture, Enhanced Rupture damage increased from 45% to 70%. Enhanced Charge damage increased from 30 to 60%. And Mighty Charge vulnerable duration increased from 2 to 4 seconds. Also, Violent Upheaval is going to be changed, so if Upheaval damages at least 2 enemies or a boss, you gain Berserking for 2 seconds, increased to 3 seconds if it damages at least 4 enemies. We've got some passive changes here. Aggressive Resistance damage reduction is being increased from 3 to 4%. Gushing Wounds bleed damage dealt based on critical damage bonus increased from 100 to 150%. And bleed damage when overpowering increased from 11% to a whopping 70%. Unconstrained berserking damage bonus increased from 25 to 35%, and updated the tooltip to more clearly reflect this key passive's value. And Walking Arsenal bonus damage duration is increased from 6 to 8 seconds. Some legendary changes here for the Barbarian. Aspect of Ancestral Force damage increased from 32 to 50% to 40 to 58%. Death Wish aspect, Thorns increased from 0.5 to 0.75 to now 0.65 to 0.85. Aspect of Unrelenting Fury, core skill cost to refund increased from 10 to 20% to 20 to 30%. The additional functionality, cost refund, also granted when hitting bosses. Aspect of Ancestral Charge, damage increased from 50 to 100% to 75 to 125%. The aspect of Burning Rage, damage increased from 0.22 to 0.28 to now 0.3 to 0.38. Aspect of Bull Kathos, damage reduction while in earthquakes is increased from 5 to 15% to 15 to 25%. And the Earthquake aspect, damage bonus in earthquakes increased from 5 to 15% to 15 to 25%. As far as uniques go, the Barbarian is getting a lot of changes. Fields of Crimson, damage increased from 0.18 to 0.34 to now 0.22 to 0.38. Damage that enemies take standing in the pools increased from 15% to 20%, and now Rupture's cooldown reduction affix is being replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Hellhammer is getting its damage increased from 0.6 to 0.8 to now 0.85 to 1.1. The burning duration is increased from 3 to 4 seconds, and the damage to crowd-controlled enemies affix is being replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Ramaladni's Magnus Opus, the physical damage affix is replaced with vulnerable damage. 100,000 Steps, the attacks reduce evades cooldown affix replaced with bonus evade charges, and damage against stunned affix replaced with bonus movement speed. And Battle Trance, basic skill damage affix replaced with cooldown reduction, and bonus attack speed to other skills increased from 10 to 20% to 35 to 45%. Moving on to the other classes. Now, the other classes are not getting as many changes as Barbarian and Sorcerer, but there are still changes to see here. For Rogue's skills, Invigorating Strike, the fundamental Invigorating Strike, the energy threshold is getting increased from 50 to 75%. Primary Forceful Arrow is changing, so every third cast pierces enemies. Enhanced Caltrip's damage bonus is increased from 3 to 5%. The Poison Trap's damage per tick is increased from 0.0956 to now 0.12. And the Supreme Rain of Arrows is getting changed, so now the Rain of Arrows first wave knocks down enemies for 3 seconds instead of the second wave. As far as passives go for the Rogue, Victimizes lucky hit chance is increased from 35 to 45%. Rugged damage reduction against damage over time effects increased from 6, 12, and 18% to 9, 18, and 27%. And Siphoning Strike's lucky hit chance increased from 75% to 85%. And then we have 2 legendary changes here. Aspect of Elusive Menace no longer requires hits to be from close enemies. And Aspect of Quickening Fog is changed so you automatically drop a smoke grenade at the end of dash. Smoke grenades reduce dash's cooldown by 0.4 to 0.6 seconds per target hit up to 2 to 3 seconds. And as far as uniques go, Wind Force is getting all stats affix replaced with vulnerable damage, and Word of Hakan, the ultimate damage affix, is getting replaced with cooldown reduction. Moving on to Druid skills. Earth Spike, Claw, Storm Strike, Wind Shear, and Maul are all getting their spirit gain increased. Wolves are also getting buffed. Passive damage is going to be increased from 7.8 to 11%. Active damage is increased from 110 to 135%. Enhanced Wolfpack's damage bonus increased from 20 to 25%. Brutal Wolfpack attack speed bonus increased from 20 to 25%. And Ferocious Wolfpack's Fortify amount increased from 5 to 8%. The Raven's passive damage is also getting increased, this from 13 to 20%, and Brutal Raven's additional functionality increased the passive damage of Ravens by 40%. Rabies is also getting a damage over time increase from 76% to 110%. We've got some legendary changes for Druid. Aspect of Metamorphic Stone, spirit cost reduced from 60 to 50, and damage dealt increased from 80 to 100% to 100 to 120%. Aspect of the Alpha damage increased from 75 to 100% to 90 to 115%, and Mangled Aspect resource gain increased from 1 to 3. And then a class mechanic change, the Overload is getting changed, so lucky hit chance increased from 20 to 40%. Then on to Necromancer skills. Bone Spirit, enhanced Bone Spirit cooldown reduction increased from 6 to 7 seconds. A Paragon change where the Wither legendary board willpower requirement for bonuses reduced from 50 to 40, and bonus damage per 40 willpower increased from 2.5% to 4%. For legendaries, the aspect of Empowering Reaper is getting changed, so now damaging enemies with Sever has a 10 to 20% chance to spawn a pool of Blight under the target that deals 20 to 60% bonus damage. This effect can only happen once every 3 seconds, and the aspect of Exposed Flesh is getting changed, so now on lucky hit, up to a 10% chance to generate 30 to 50 essence when hitting a vulnerable enemy. The aspect of Decay damage increased from 20 to 40% to 25 to 45%. Aspect of Torment is getting changed, so essence regeneration is increased from 20 to 30% to 90 to 170%. The Hulking aspect legendary category was actually changed from resource to utility. Chance for Golem to reduce its cooldown increased from 1 to 4% to 2 to 5%, and chance to Golem to spawn a corpse increased from 0.5 to 2% to now 1 to 2.5%. And for uniques, the Greaves of the Empty Tomb intelligence affix is being replaced with bonus movement speed. We're also seeing a couple changes to the Temerity unique pants. The plus all stats affix is being replaced with max life. The barrier is now based on your max life, and now it properly accounts for conditions, checking for the player having a barrier. So other barrier effects that you have on other gear will now work with Temerity. They're also making a change to one of the Malignant Hearts, the Caged Heart of Spellbreaking. So upon taking elemental damage, you now gain 10 to 20% damage reduction for 5 seconds. And now we have a change here for minions and the damage that they take. The following attacks now deal reduced damage to Druid companions and Necromancer minions: Balrog's Fire Breath, and the Fire Enchanted, Electrified Obelisks, and Shock Lance Elite affixes. Now moving away from these specific patch notes, we also got information on monster density. So the monster density changes are also coming with patch 1.1.1. They showed an example of how many enemies are currently in a certain dungeon when you boot up the game today versus how many enemies you'll potentially see once the changes are implemented. These density changes also apply to certain areas of Helltides as well. In this patch, they are also increasing the health and rewards of bosses, as right now in higher world tiers especially, once you have even the smallest of builds together, you can basically shred bosses, Nightmare Dungeon bosses, in seconds. So they are increasing their health as well as increasing rewards. So boss health in World Tier 3 and World Tier 4 is being increased. Dungeon bosses at level 35 and up will drop a guaranteed legendary upon defeat. You'll also get a guaranteed legendary when completing Legion events at level 35 and up. The Butcher also has a 100% chance to drop a legendary, they mentioned. Treasure Goblins have a 50% legendary drop chance right now, but these are getting increased to guaranteed legendary drop chance at level 15 and up. Alright, and that's all the brand new information we got from the campfire chat today. Lots of great stuff coming. Once again, it was a great stream to watch, and it's nice to see the devs respond as quickly as they are to community feedback and trying to make things right, especially with the Barbarian and Sorcerer changes coming so soon, and the changes being or looking like being pretty significant. But for now, that's it for me for today. Appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the summary, make sure to drop me a like and subscribe for more Diablo videos. Not only do I cover the news for the game, but I also do a lot of beginner-focused content and guides. So if you're interested in that, consider following me for more. And until next time, see you later.